Kia ora unicorns, welcome back to another video. This video we are going to make lolly cake and it is obviously Christmas themed. Lolly cake is not a Christmas recipe, but I like to make it around this time of year because it's a great thing to make and then to gift to people or to just have in your fridge so that when someone pops around you've got a nice wee slice to put out and it's delicious. A New Zealand classic is the lolly cake. Anyway, this is probably going to be the only Christmas recipe I put out this year, unfortunately. I just have so much from throughout this year that I have not got into editing yet because it's just been a very, very busy year. An amazing year though. I got all my results back recently and I have got A's in every subject for my degree and I'm so happy with that. Especially I did a systematic literature review, which for those of you who have done them, you will know how hard and time consuming those are. But for those who don't know, it was hard. I chose borderline personality disorder as my subject, and so my research question was, what are effective interventions when working with borderline personality disorder? It was very eye-opening and interesting, and because I got an A in it, I'm actually considering going ahead and seeing if perhaps I could get it published into a research journal, and then I would be an author. So that's pretty rad if you ask me. Anyway, let's move on and let's make some lolly cake, okay? So in front of me I have the ingredients, but I will go through and tell you what they all are anyway. So here I have some ginger nut biscuits and some nice biscuits. Now if you are a Kiwi, you will know that this is not traditionally what we use to make lolly cake. We use malt biscuits, but I could not find any vegan malt biscuits anywhere. I do believe they exist. I think there might be a gluten-free, dairy-free version of them somewhere, but I couldn't find it. So I decided to use ginger nut and nice biscuits. I was considering using just ginger nut because it gives the kind of traditional brown colour of lolly cake, but I just didn't really want the ginger flavour to overpower the other flavours. So I decided I'd go with a combination of these two biscuits. I think it's going to be very delicious. Now this is just a glad bag or a storage bag, you might call it, I guess. We are going to use this to crush the biscuits. If you have a food processor, that is a much better way of doing it, but unfortunately I do not have a food processor at my new house. So we're doing it the old school way. We have some desiccated coconut for rolling the log in at the end, some sweetened condensed coconut milk. Now you can make this, it's actually really simple, but I just didn't have time so I went out and bought some. However, if it is not available in your area, I will put the recipe down below, either on my blog or on my Instagram. Actually, while I've got you guys, I currently have a blog, as some of you know, and I also have my Instagram. I am considering moving all my recipes from my blog over to Instagram and then just getting rid of my blog. What do you guys think of that as the consumers of my content? Do you prefer a blog that is very bloggy and, you know, like with all the fluffy writing and stuff like that, or do you prefer just picture recipe on Instagram? Let me know down below. I do really want to know what you guys think of that because I am just considering Instagram because it kind of simplifies the whole thing, because not everyone wants to go to a random website just to get a recipe. Anyway, I digress. Let's move on to the next ingredient. Now, this is not the traditional lolly that you would use. Lolly means candy or sweet for those outside of New Zealand or Australia. But this is not the traditional one that you would use in lolly cake. Normally you would use Eskimos or fruit puffs, but neither of those are vegan. So I've gone out and got some marshmallows, and these are obviously vegetarian vegan marshmallows. And I feel like that is the closest thing I could find that was vegan, but I think it's going to be equally as good. And then because I was buying those from a vegan cafe called Portishead here in Christchurch, New Zealand. If you ever visit, you have to go to their best vegan cafe ever. And they had some vegan Turkish delight, and I was like, okay, I have never put this in lolly cake before, so I don't know how good it's going to be, but I just feel like Turkish delight is delicious. So yes, and as you can see, I've already had some. And then lastly, some chocolate chips. Again, not traditional, but why not? Is the question. Why not? But anyway, we are going to start by crushing up these biscuits. Do you know what? I totally forgot to tell you that you need 150 grams of vegan butter or margarine or a dairy-free spread. So we're going to put that in a saucepan. We're also now going to add our sweet and condensed coconut milk to this here, and try not to make a giant mess like I am. Okay, we're now going to put this on medium heat and just let it kind of melt together. We're not cooking it, we're just melting it together. Okay, now that that is nicely melted, we are going to add in our crushed biscuits and stir it all in. Now, how crushed you like these biscuits is totally down to preference. Some people want it completely blitzed, so there's no crunchy bits in there. I personally like it quite crunchy. I like a little bit of biscuit in there, so feel free to do that however you want. Once we have mixed this well, we are going to add in our marshmallows. I'm just going to chop up the Turkish Delight a little bit because they're quite big pieces. You kind of need small little chunks for lolly cakes, so just going to chop it up, although it's proving kind of difficult, so we're probably not going to chop it into too small pieces because Turkish Delight's not the easiest to chop. There we go, and I even have one piece left for me to have later. Very happy about that. And lastly, our chocolate chips. I'm just adding as much as I want, so there's no measurement for how many lollies you want in this, guys. You do you. Go crazy. It's Christmas time. Calories don't count. So again, we're mixing it in. Oh yes, that is what I'm talking about. Now I have to wash my hands. Okay, so next we are going to wrap it up. I would actually recommend using baking paper rather than cling wrap like I am. But guess who forgot to buy baking paper? That's right, me! Anyway, what I do is I then coat this here with the coconut because we're going to wrap it up in this. And then I just kind of start to mold it into a log in here before I kind of try to transfer it as one whole, but it will fall apart. That's okay. So then just kind of make it into a log. It's not as solid as I would normally like it, but that is okay. That is probably just because I don't have the biscuits as blended as what a lot of people would. But it'll harden in the fridge anyway, so that is okay. Yummy! Right, I'm just going to wash my hands. Right, I now like to put more coconut on the top. The idea is just like as much coconut as you want, basically. This recipe doesn't have exact measurements as you have probably kind of figured. So this piece of glad wrap is not going to wrap around properly, so we're going to put a piece of glad wrap over the top as well. Oh dear. There we go. Now we're going to attempt to tightly wrap it as much as we can. Right, I'm now going to go and place this in the fridge for about an hour. Could be less, could be longer, just until it's set basically. And then when it's set, we're going to slice it up. Alright, we are back an hour later. It has set nicely, so we are going to unwrap him or her or them, and we're going to hopefully be able to get it out of glad wrap or cling wrap, whatever you say wherever you're from. Glad wrap is a brand we have here in New Zealand. You probably have it wherever you are too, to be honest. And so we're just going to chop it. Turkish Delight has stuck to my knife, so I think that means I need to eat it. And yes, the coconut will fall off. But here we go. This is what a slice of lolly cake looks like. Although It doesn't really look like the authentic lolly cake. It would have little bits of green and pink and yellow Eskimos, but it's close enough. And so now I'm going to put some in a wee jar, just as a wee gift idea. Although I'm not actually sure these pieces are going to fit, so we might have to rethink how we're going to do this. Oh no, here we go. I actually needed to leave this in the fridge a little bit longer, to be honest. But I'm impatient, so we're going to do it now. And they kind of fit in. Oh right, not perfect, but that's okay. So I'm then just going to grab my beautiful ribbons. And I'm going to do the fancy thing you do where you like wrap it underneath. How do you do this? Never mind. Hold up, I'm figuring it out. I remember. You turn it upside down. I have a little silver tag to put on as well because it's Christmas, and these are so cute Christmas colours. And my ribbon tying is not perfect, but you get the idea, don't you? You get the idea. A little wee Christmas gift that you can give people. The trick is to sellotape it on the bottom so that it stays in place, but of course I don't have any sellotape because it just moved. Anyway, how cute is that for a wee gift you can give to your teacher, your mum, your grandma? I've stated mostly females, although a teacher could be anyone. But you know, men do like these sorts of things too. So, you know, give it to anyone and everyone, okay? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Happy Christmas, and I look forward to seeing you in the new year. Bye, bye, bye.